Hello crafty friends, I'm working in my scrappy art journal today. I recently heard a really nice quote on TikTok and I wanted to create a page so I'm able to use the quote. I start by adding some background paper. This is collage paper from Little Birdie Crafts. And you'd be surprised that I'm not actually using the butterflies on the paper, I'm just using the text. I'm adding this to the page with some Mod Podge. You could also use gel medium or craft glue. I also add a layer of Mod Podge over the top of the collage paper. This is to waterproof it so that if I add any kind of wet medium on top, it won't rip the paper. While the Mod Podge is still wet, I'm adding some gesso with my paintbrush. And I also sometimes use my fingers to get a nice blendy feel. The background paper of the left page is very dark, it's black, and I want to lighten that quite a bit. And I'm trying to see if I should add any kind of other collage paper in the background. To help lighten that dark black, I'm going to add a piece of white tissue paper over that section, as I'm not getting a very smooth finish with my gesso on the paper. This too I will add with Mod Podge. And I'm not just adding it on the black section, I'm letting it go on the right hand side too. If anything, it'll add some additional texture. And I know some people may comment that I'm using this other tissue paper a little bit too much. It's the one with the little dots that I absolutely love. I am addicted to using it and I've probably used it in the last 10 projects. So I'm sorry if you're sick of seeing it, but I really love using it. For those that ask, it is Dino Wakeley. If you just search Dino Wakeley tissue paper or Dino Wakeley collage paper, it'll come up. It comes in a pack with different designs. And I honestly cannot stop using it. I will put a link to it in the description box below. Adding a little bit of gesso just to soften the edges and to lighten the whole look, as I want it to be in the background. And I only want it for a soft contrast. I'm now going to add some color. I'm going to start with some stenciling. I'm using my Tim Holtz ink in the color Peacock Feathers and using it with my stencil and a blending brush. I'm not applying it everywhere, just in the top left hand corner and the bottom right hand corner. To soften the look, I'm going to add a little bit of water on the edges with my paintbrush just to try and blend that in a bit so it's not so straight. And then I'm also splashing some water over the top and then dabbing with my tissue and it picks up some of the ink and lightens the overall look. The next color I'm going to add is purple. Who doesn't love turquoise and purple together? For this, I'm using my Color Burst powders. They are super concentrated powders. You just put a small sprinkling and then spray with water, which activates the color, and look at that bright purple. I love working with these. I don't really paint with them. I let them move around on the paper on their own. I do help a little bit with a wet paintbrush, but I do pick up my book and move it around and let the colors flow. I want to add some splatter in the turquoise, which I don't have in a liquid form, so I'm going to make some. I'm just going to press the ink pad onto an acrylic block and then spray with water, and then just use my fan paintbrush to pick up some of that color and splash it over my pages. As an alternative, you could use watercolors or watered down acrylics. Using my black fine liner pen, I'm going to hand write my quotes. Now, a little thing that I do to make sure that I don't make any spelling mistakes or leave any words out, and that my spacing is good, I do practice this on a spare piece of paper and I check back before I write the next word, so I'm sure I'm writing it down correctly. Now the little spots on my favorite tissue paper are interfering slightly with my wording and it's blending in and you can't really read two of the words. So I'm going to cover a little bit of them with some gesso and then write over it again. This is just to help the words be more clear and easily legible. For my focal point, I'm going to add a simple heart. It's going to be hand drawn on a turquoise piece of cardstock. Of course, you can use any kind of focal point for your page. I'm going to cut that out and then I'm going to try and add a little bit of the turquoise ink to try and get the tone the same. This honestly didn't work great, but that's okay. The turquoise is pretty similar and it still works really well. I'm then going to stick my turquoise heart on some purple paper and I'm going to cut around it and leave a small edge of purple around the heart. I do like the two-tone color of the heart. I think it creates a good contrast. Now, to add some interest and dimension to my heart, as it's the only focal point that we're going to have, I'm going to run it under my sewing machine with some black thread. I'm also going to create some bunching. If you'd like to know an easy way to bunch your thread so you get this look, I will link my tutorial in the description box below. Sticking this down now with some Mod Podge. And then I'm going to use my black fine liner again and do a frame all the way around both pages. I really hope you enjoyed this video and were inspired to create your own. And I really hope you loved this quote as much as I did. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch my video. I really appreciate that you do. I would love if you subscribed to my channel and hit the little bell so you're notified every time I upload new content. Thanks again for watching. Happy creating. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.